Yeah, there's no items in there. I think we're live. Let me check. We are live. Good deal. Turn this down. Let me go ahead and answer a couple comments on some videos while we waiting on people to show up. That's a little bit far. Let me put this right here on my left side. Hey, what's up, bud? I ain't seen you in a while. You doing all right? Oops. Okay. Been busy. All right. Well, that sounds good. Are you still in the kitchen? I think you were kitchen staff for a little bit, weren't you? But yeah, deciding to go back. Was that due to what the kitchen staff was telling you and things like that? There we go. I think my camera is a little bit on the. Oh, I'm bumping stuff. I think it'll be alright though. Let me do that. It might be alright. Busy working on that LPN. Housekeeping, yeah. Yeah, I remember you wanted to be a police officer. Yeah. Well, that's all right. You're young too. You're what, like 22, 23 years old? I mean, you still got plenty of time, to decide, hey, this isn't for me. Hey, this is for me, things like that. So being as young as you are, and right now, with the pandemic going on and whatnot, well, sort of pandemic going on, sort of ending now, but with all that and your age and how schools are changing, you should, right now is the perfect time to jump into it. slide off to the side so I don't hear my slurping on the microphone. I'm a little bit worried about my lighting situation. I took light bulbs out of my ceiling fan because the computer was hurting my eyes tonight. The Hesse. So I don't know the Hesse. I had to take the T's. And I had to score like a 67, so I don't know what the Hesse goes up to, but I don't know if a 95 to 97 is good or not. I imagine it's pretty good, but we were based on point system when I went to school. You had to score like a minimum of like a 64 or something like that, and I scored like a 67, I think. I had to retake it though. I had to take it twice, I think. I think I had to take it twice. Like the first time I scored like a 64, but it wasn't enough points on my thing to get me into the program, so I had to score like a 67 or something like that, and I scored a 67. So, but the Hesse, I don't know anything about. I think it's the same sort of test. It just is scored differently. I think. I could be wrong. Let me refresh this here. There we go. I got this weird little ghost light, like right there. It's a weird ghost light. I can't get it to go away. I'm gonna look at it like every single time I look in the screen. So you can score a 70. I don't know how the difference between how they're scored, but if it's right down the road from your house and they only take students in one time per year, I would definitely try my hardest to get into that school, because the last thing you want to do is be, what's up, Jerry? The last thing you want to do is be going to school 45 minutes an hour away, tired as all get out, burn out from school, knowing that you could have gone 2-3 miles down the road. So yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from, trying to score so high on that Hesse. Just read a bunch of books. Read a bunch of. I read T's Made Easy or something like that, and I cannot remember what T's I took. I want to say I thought it was T's 5, but after I got to looking at it, T's 5 came out after I was out of school. It came out like 16 or something, so that definitely wasn't the one I took. I must have took like T's 4 or something like that. Or maybe even T's 3. I don't know what years they came out. And I still have not put a Hellcat in my golf cart. Yeah, Jerry, my school was 1 hour, on a good day, 1 hour both ways. Like one way was an hour on a good day, like without traffic was an hour for me. So yeah, it's that drive is, if you're going to school and you're burnt out, that is the worst. That is the worst. Yeah, but yeah, I'm with you on that. I understand what you're saying. You gotta score high on that thing. You want to be local. You do not want to be driving, because not only is your school an hour away, but your clinicals is going to be an hour away. My clinicals was actually on the other side of my school, so clinicals like an hour and a half. Yeah, I haven't bought a Hellcat yet. Still got the golf cart, no Hellcat. I don't make enough on YouTube to be to buy Hellcats and stuff like that. I definitely would. If I got if I started bringing in the YouTube money, I would definitely buy a Hellcat for sure. Probably my first stupid purchase, because it's got 4 doors. I'd buy one and pick my kids up in the car rider line in it. I pick my kids up in the car rider line in the golf cart sometimes, because we live so close to the school. That'll get you noticed, like, for sure. Like, all the other kids love seeing the golf cart. Yes, clinical hours are separate from school hours, or they were for me. So for me, school was Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday were clinicals, and it was like 7 to 3, both clinical and school. Or you could do Saturday, Sunday, also 7 to 3. And so I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for everything, because I worked on the weekends. But school and clinical were both 7 to 3, but separate locations. Yeah, that clinical drive, man, especially like after, you had a terrible clinical, and then you got to drive that hour and a half home. Ugh, that's miserable. After working, working, you're not getting paid. After being there for an entire day, it's miserable. It's absolutely no fun. But yeah, you got to do, I forget, like, you got to have a total number of clinical hours to graduate. And I forget what the total number of clinical hours you have to have. It was a lot. Like, you could only miss, I think you could only miss, 1.5 days of clinical to make up your hours. And you can't do overtime, or we couldn't do overtime. So there were, no makeup days for clinical. You had to, really push it to make up all your clinical hours. And if you got sent home for something, not knowing your meds or something like that, and if you got sent home twice, and you were out of the program, you could go ahead and call it a day. You were just out, because there's no way you can make up your hours. Especially if you got sent home early in the day. There was absolutely no way you can make up your hours. It was terrible. There's no need to be scared of it. I mean, it's everybody who's a nurse went through it. Every single person, LPN, ADN, BSN, whatever it may be, they all went through it. So, yeah, and there's some dumb people that made it through it. So, if they can make it through, all you gotta do is have that drive. Yeah, so so like if you're so they'll give you like one patient. Well, this I'm telling you my experience because it was at my clinical. So they gave you like one patient, and you got their MAR, their medical administration record, their whatever meds they're getting. And so if it's like during your clinical, like I said, mine was 7 to 3. So if their med passes like 8 and 10 and noon, you have to know every single med on that list that's done at 8, 10, and noon. You have to know like their class, their action, their onset, side effects to look for, how to give it, things like that. And then you have to know like if they interact with each other. And so a lot of that was pretty hard to memorize, but it was just simple memorization. And I kept a Davis drug guide on me at all times. And so that Davis drug guide, that thing came in handy so much. It came in handy like more than anything I could have ever imagined, that Davis drug guide. So I just used it a lot and just memorized all the meds real quick. But yeah, you gotta know all the meds. One of the systems that we used, it was called Dragon. One of the charting systems we used called Dragon actually broke it down for you in its as program. And so that made it super easy. So if you get a system like Dragon, I don't know who uses Dragon, but if you get a system like Dragon, then and it breaks your meds down for you, then that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't have the app. It might have existed at the time. I didn't have a smartphone. I don't even think I had a flip phone. I think I just had a regular, like a Nokia Nextel, whatever. But yeah, I'm sure they have an app by now. I had the the disc, the disc, slamming in the computer disc of Davis Drug Guide when I was going through it. ROM drive, whatever. It wasn't even the zip drive. It wasn't even like a USB port thing. It was a disc. It was awesome. It's amazing how much technology has increased in, just a little over 10 years it's been since I was there. Because back then, no one was doing online either. Like, no one did online. So, the person that checks you when you're there at clinical is your clinical director, your clinical supervisor. So you have to, before you give your meds, and your director will make sure that you know your time management skills. So our director will like hang out in the Pyxis. Pyxis is where meds are like dispensed. It's like a refrigerator looking thing with a bunch of drawers that you type in what you want, and it like dispenses out to you, sort of like a drink machine, but it looks like a huge refrigerator. Anyways, our clinical director would hang out at the Pyxis, and you would come up to your clinical director and you'd say, "Hey, clinical director, I have 8 a.m. meds. Here they are. Boom, boom, boom. I have 4 meds." And she'll be like, "All right, what's the class? What's the action? What's the onset? What does it interact with? What do I need to be worried about? If it's a push, how fast do you push it? If it's an IV drip, how many drips does it go?" Things like that. And so I don't necessarily know that they knew every single thing, but all of my clinical directors were very much older, very experienced nurses. And so, they could rattle that mess off the top of their head many times. And so they were the ones that were checking you on that. And so you were not given like an A, B, C, D sort of grade. You were given a pass-fail sort of grade. So if you didn't know your meds, you were getting sent home. And if you got sent home, like I said, you missed so many hours, you were out of the program. So you had to know your meds. And like I said, that at one clinical site we had that Dragon, and so our director was checking it on Dragon, as we were rattling it off. So, she knew or didn't know. But yeah, you are graded, but like I said, it's not a ABCD. It's a pass fail. But don't let me like scare you out of nursing school. Every single person that's a nurse had to go through it, so it's not unobtainable. And if you were to quiz me on some of them meds I gave back then, now, I can't even pronounce the names of them anymore. I know the LOLs are heart medications. After that, man, once you get me out of addiction meds, I don't know anymore. That just left my mind. There's always other options, and what you could do is if this is a community college that's right down the road from your house, you can start doing your prereqs there. Start doing all of your like core classes, and just take other classes and sort of meet people, and try to get in the next year. But you're still young, so I don't know. When are the sign-ups or whatever? When do they start taking the nursing students? When does that actually happen? But it's not the end of the world if you don't get into that school. It's not the end of the world. There's always plan B. One of my buddies always said that plan B was swim. I don't think he was ever, correct in that, but that was always his plan B, was swim away or something like that. Gotta have a backup plan. You have to do all your paperwork in July. Yeah, go ahead and we're in middle of March now. Yeah, I'd go ahead and start knocking that mess out as much as you can. Yeah, if they're starting in September, I would go ahead and do as much as you could, as quick as you could. Don't do it's due in July, I'll start it in June. Not one of those things. I would go ahead and get everything done as quick as possible. But, I didn't do it that way. I always tell people that I am an achiever. I'm not an overachiever. I'm not an underachiever. I'm middle of the road. Achiever. So if it's due in July, I would have probably had it turned in like into May. If I could, if I could. Whereas overachievers would have it turned in like beginning of April. It would have taken me a while to turn it in. But, yeah. 'Tis just me. Oh, yeah. I believe you. But, every person that's a nurse had to go through school, so just think about it that way. Every single person that has done it has had to go through it, so, and it is no fun. I think this week will be a little bit better than last week, because last week was the daylight savings week whenever I did this, so we were an hour ahead, an hour behind. Whatever real time was, we were an hour different from that. When I woke up the next morning, that was terrible. Yeah, I dealt with plenty of know-it-alls in the program. Oh yeah, like Hermione in not Willy Wonka, in Harry Potter. Yeah, there were plenty of know-it-alls. And what I found out about the know-it-alls, or what I found with the know-it-alls, is many of them were trying to cheat off of you. They would quiz you on your meds or whatever, and then they'd be like, "Oh, well, I found this med was really this," and then secretly they would be writing down what it is that you just said or something. So the know-it-alls were in nursing school were not the Hermione Grangers who actually knew every single thing. They were like spies trying to get information out of you. But it is sort of survival of the fittest at the same time. We all got to get through it. But yeah, there were plenty of know-it-alls. But I can think of one very easily off the top of my head who was a big know-it-all. Comes to mind just, that quick. I remember them. The know-it-alls, speaking of them, seem to not have the drive, I guess, if that makes sense. Because it takes a fair amount of drive to get through nursing school. So the know-it-alls seem to just not have that drive, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just my program, but they just didn't have the oomph, to sort of do it on their own, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, that was my experience with them. But yeah, well, I made it through. I will say I am impressed with the internet connection tonight. It was only 12 months for me. It was very beginning of August to the very end of July the following year. 12 months. And it the 12 months was it wasn't like how in school you get semester breaks, Christmas break and spring break and summer break, things like that. Ours was you got a couple days off for Christmas, and then you got Memorial Day and Easter, just a couple days off, and then I think you might have had 4th of July off, things like that. But yeah, it was 12 straight months, very few breaks. Did teachers have their favorites? As one of the teachers' favorites, and I will think that was because I was the only male in my class, I will say yes, most definitely. Teachers had their favorites. However, they can only be subjective to an extent. They can't, if they have their favorites, they cannot change grades. They cannot, they can't, if you fail a practicum or something like that, if you fail a skill, they can't pass you, just because you're their favorite. So yeah, they have favorites, but it's not like high school. where the favorites always get the best grades and things like that. And like, if you mess up and you fail something, even if you are the favorite, you're still not going to pass. You might get the best assignments, like in clinical. You might get the easiest assignments. You might get the least amount of meds and stuff like that. But you're not going to be, if you're the favorite or whoever is the favorite, you're not going to be able to like do every single thing like in a high school setting. Where the favorites are in the high school setting. But yeah, teachers have their favorites. I mean, they're still people. They're supposed to be non-biased, but I mean, everybody's biased to a certain extent. So yeah, teachers definitely did have their favorites. But like I said, I will admit, I was on the better end of that as a favorite. I was definitely one of the favorites in my program. So I think it's just because I was the only male in my program, but could be wrong. My ceiling fan light trick seems to still be working. No, I don't work in long-term care anymore. I'm in substance abuse now. I haven't been in long-term care in probably 7-8 years now. Yeah, long-term care wasn't for me. It's not for everybody. It wasn't for me. I just, I wasn't built for it. I wasn't built for long-term care. I could do the job. I did it without any, I don't want to say without any difficulty. I did it without any issues. I did the job without any issues, but yeah, I'm not in long-term care anymore. It's definitely like, well, before the pandemic, it used to be like by far the greatest paying place for LPNs, but here lately, I don't think it's that way. But it used to be by far the highest paying for LPNs. But with the pandemic, travel nursing and hospitals taking anybody who can breathe, anybody with a pulse, that's probably changed by now. For sure. But I just wasn't built for it. I wasn't, it wasn't for me. The best way to get ahead on your meds, would be just to get a Davis drug guide, and then, wherever you get a clinical. So if your clinical's at like a long-term care, just see if you can go to your local long-term care facility that you're going to do your clinicals at, and see if you can get in there the day before or sometime before, and just like ask around, like, what's the most meds you give? What's tell them, hey, I'm going to do clinical here the next day or two. What's something I need to know about meds here? And then just read about it in your Davis drug guide. But that Davis drug guide is going to be your best friend if you get one. I got one. That's definitely the way to go, is just read as much as you can read and just try to soak it in from that Davis drug guide. because that Davis Drug Guide is an amazing resource. It is just a phenomenal resource that you get. I think let me see. I think they're fairly expensive, but let me see here. There we go. Yeah, Amazon has it right now for $30. So, yeah, they're not cheap. Oh, I gotta figure out where I'm at. So, $30 for a Davis Drug Guide, for a resource that's going to be phenomenal for you, is definitely worth having. And they got them on Amazon. I mean, so everybody uses Amazon now. All right, let's take the car question, because I sure do love a vehicle. It's my passion. Actually, I'd say racing's probably my passion, but you gotta have a car to do that. Not always, but you give me a bunch of three-year-olds on a tricycle at a basketball court, I'm gonna pick me a favorite. I'm gonna watch that race too. I ain't just got a big car. I will watch me some racing. My shirt is sticking to me. A little bit warm in this house. I ain't turned AC on yet. Temperatures are starting to rise here in North Carolina. Spring is, tomorrow? Or Monday? 03 or 04 Cobra. Easy. The 2015 Mustang 5.0 sounds like diarrhea in a shallow toilet. I hate the way that those coyotes sound. I hate the coyotes. But easy, 03, 04 Cobra. Hands down all day. It's lighter. Had the independent rear suspension. Had the blower on it. All you gotta do is do a pulley swap. That Joker's running like 500 horse easy. They were all straight drive. I mean, you name it, it's better in every way. Sounds so much better. That 4-valve is amazing. That is probably, arguably, one of the greatest sounding engines known to man. That 2015, well, it was 2011, I think, is when they came out. With that Coyote, that Joker just sounds terrible. It's just miserable sounding. It's I hate it. I hate that motor. I do not. So 03, 04 Cobra all day. I like the 97, 97, 98, 94, 95. They had the pushrod 5.0, but the 97, 98 had the 4-valve in it that was the same thing as that went into the Mach 1s. And I really love the way that sounded. And that was before they had the blowers. They had the blowers on the 03, 04s. The 01s, the 01 Cobras also had it. And for whatever reason, they like to skip years for the Cobras. They did 93, which was a Fox body, and then 94, 95. Those were both pushrod 302s, 5.0s. And then they did 97, 98, and then they did 99, 01, and then 03, 04, and then I think the Cobra came back out. No, I think it became a GT after that, like a GT 500. So there were 30 students started, my particular class. But my particular class was only 30, but there were 3 classes, so 90 total. And we graduated. I think we were the biggest out of the bunch, and we graduated like 9 or 12, something like that. So like roughly 1/3, and we were the biggest graduating out of the 3. So, like I said, so 1/3 of the students graduated, I think. So not very many. Yeah, the GT500 was a 5.4 4-valve. So sort of like the GT or the GTs, GTs. They were 5.4 4-valves, but they didn't have the power. They had like 547 or something like that. And then they had the 350s, which has the Voodoo in it, which sounds even worse than the Coyote. I hate the Coyotes and I hate the Voodoos. Neither one of them sound good. The last really good sounding Mustang was the 2010 4.6. That was the last good sounding Mustang. Of course, I like the way that the new Roush 4-cylinders sound. I think they sound all right, but they're 4-cylinder, turbo. Make all kinds of choo-choo sounds whenever you change gears. Yeah, they got no power to it. Well, of course, I've never driven one, so I can't really speak too much. But they got no power to like $3,000. Of course, I revved to like 10 though. But yeah, Jerry, we did not graduate very many. Yeah, 2010. That was the last 4.6. Well, last 4.6 in the Mustangs. But yeah, Jerry, we graduated, 1/3. I think I made a video on this, and there was like, 200 people started the program, and then, I say started because there was like 200 people that were in the entry part of it, and then we graduated. 10 to 12 people, so like 2% graduated, something like that. But I think it's gone up since then. However, my school had a 100% Nclex pass rate. So like ECPI has like an 84% Nclex pass rate. So that means that 84 out of 100 people that graduate from ECPI will pass the Nclex. Whereas at my school it was 100 people out of 100 will pass the Nclex. Excuse me. So you got to kind of weigh that, like you may only graduate 10, 11 people, but at the same time, every single one of them is going to pass the Nclex. Whereas ECPI, you may graduate 30 people, but 20 of you are going to pass. 10 of you are going to fail. I don't know if the Nclex is going to change or not. I would not be surprised if the Nclex changes, simply because of the pandemic. I would not be surprised if the Nclex changes at all. My favorite procedure, I don't know. I like IVs. I don't know. It's just the satisfaction of getting the flash, especially if like there's been other people try and you're the one that hits it. Like you come into it and you just get that thing in there just right, and you get the flash, and it flushes and all that. Like I feel like that's like the most satisfying sort of thing, So I would have to say that's probably my favorite procedure. We'll say blood draw / IVs. That's probably my favorite, especially like I said, especially if I got it, and no one else could. Like whenever you hear your phone ring, hey Chris, I need you to draw some blood. I sure will. Or then just start this IV. Yes, I will. There's some I don't like, but those are probably my favorite. No, I do not like the. No, I do not like the 2012 5.0s. No, will not have one. I would not have a Coyote 5.0. So the Nclex is graded. Well, if it's changing, I don't know how it's going to be graded coming up. But so you can pass the Nclex, I think, in 76 questions, or you can pass it in like 276 questions. Basically, what it does is it asks you, it's an AI, artificial intelligence exam. So it asks you a baseline question. And then if you get the baseline question right, you move up in difficulty. If you get it wrong, you move down in difficulty. And then it sort of turns into like a NCAA bracket. So if you win, you move up. If you lose, you move down. So if you get the next question right, you move up the bracket. If you keep moving up far enough up the bracket to the pass territory, you pass. And you can do that in, I think, 76 questions. And the most questions you can have, I believe, is 276. And so it depends on how you do with that baseline. So if you're over the baseline at 276 questions, you'll pass. If you're under the baseline at 276 questions, you'll pass. If you go too far down to where you cannot come back up, no matter how many questions you get right, you fail. You could fail within 76, or you could pass within 76. And the questions are not like true false. So they may be multiple choice, but it will say something like select all that apply. So, it may be the correct answer may be A, C, D. Or the correct answer may only be A. Or the correct answer may be, none of the above, and none of the above may be an answer. So it's difficult. And it is, whoever came up with it is much smarter than myself, and I hope that they got paid. But if it changes in April, it won't be done that same way. But that's how it's been done since they went computerized back in the mid-90s or whatever. No, I do not use a smartwatch at my job now. I did use a smartwatch in dialysis when I was in dialysis because they had the calculator on it. But my oldest, I took my watch off, and for whatever reason, my oldest decided to throw it. And she threw it, and it exploded, just erupted into a ball of smartwatch fire. Didn't actually catch on fire, and broke it. And since I left dialysis, I haven't replaced it. I just don't feel like there's a need to replace it. So I used to use one, but I just don't anymore. The new 5.0s. They can handle a lot of power. It just must be the builds. The Coyotes handle a lot more power than the 4.6s ever did. I will say that at least. I don't ever want one because they sound so bad, but they'll handle a lot more power than the 4.6s ever would. You do got to, of course, change the bottom end parts out on them. But yeah, they'll hold a lot more power. And the oil just shooting out the intake is probably some sort of PCV valve that needs adjusted. But yeah, they'll hold the power. those coyotes. I dislike them, but credit where credit's due. They will take the power. Running up on 10, a little after 10. Almost been at this an hour. That's all right. Yeah, you just got to build the bottom end right. You know, it's all about weight and parts you use and things like that. You can't have a stock bottom end on that. The 5.7, the Hemi, the 345 cubic inch Hemi, that's all right. I mean, got nothing against it. It produces the same amount of power as it's got cubic inches, so anything that does that is awesome. It's got 16 plugs in it though, so changing plugs is not going to be fun. But they produce a lot of power, so. I love the way the 392 sounds. I think it's the best sounding Hemi. It's got a lot of power. I like the fact that you can still get that one in a straight drive. Of course, you can still get the Hellcat in a straight drive too, but it's not a 392. It's a that's a 6.7, so that's a 6.4, so it's, you know, like 376 maybe. But yeah, I love the way the 392 sounds. I think that's the best sounding car right now. Love them. Keep taking my shoes on and off while I'm wearing flip-flops. Keep taking my flip-flops on and off. What's up, David? From Wisconsin. Thank you for the love. David, what is the temperature in Wisconsin right now? Today in North Carolina, it got to 77. It was the temperature. And it felt nice. No, I do not have a sports car currently. I've had several. I'm an LPN. I had Mustang. I had two Mustang GTs. I had a Dodge Stealth, Nissan 240, really fast Silverado, things like that. 37 degrees. Yes, a little bit chilly. However, I bet the snow melted a little bit at 37 in Wisconsin. That is cold. That is cold, especially springtime starting like, 2 days from now. Do y'all got leaves on trees yet? Y'all got anything green up there yet? We have the little buds on the end of the trees, and they're all green, and I always love the way that it looks right now. I think it's so cool. The Hellcat motors are... Oh, yeah, I think the Hellcats are doing good right now, yeah. Most definitely. They're coming to an end, but what are they putting out now? 797 horsepower, whereas the first one was put out 707. Either way is a tremendous amount of power. More than I could ever use on the street. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, anything that's built to hold 700 horsepower and go 100,000 miles is definitely built right. I mean, you can't argue that. Built, I would love to see one that's got like 200,000 miles on it. I'd love to see what it looks like on the inside after you do the 200,000 miles on a Hellcat. I'd love to see that. I don't think anybody ever go 200,000 on one. Gas prices too high to go up too high. But maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Hey, what's up, Tun? Good to see you again, bud. I love those. I want one. They were straight drive, 4 doors. I want one bad. I'll never be able to afford one, but I want one. Those were my favorite looking NASCARs too. Was that body style, that 2015 SS. I didn't like the Caprice looking NASCARs, but yeah, man. We'll see you later, Jerry. How much is this mic? This is a Sudo Tac. I think I only paid $30 for it. Let me spell it correctly so I can is it CK? Yeah, CK. It is $41. That is the microphone. Came with the stand and everything. Yep. $41. It was a simple plug and play. So I got it just for the just because I didn't need any software to do it. So yeah, any GM LS sounds good straight piped. Any of them do. Tun, you ought to start doing old live streams. Do some old cooking. Do a cooking live stream. Because I'm sure some of them things you cook up, are not quick. I imagine that some of them take quite a little while. You could chop it up. That's how I cook, chopping it up. You could cook and do a live stream at the same time. Answer questions about it. Get you a pseudo-tac microphone and a Logitech camera. That's all I got. Both of which are just plug and play. And then do yourself a live stream. Yeah, stupid school, man. Stupid school keep you busy. In the future, yeah. The whole future thing, you know. But I think I had a coupon or a code or something when I bought this microphone. I think I didn't pay but like $30 for it. No, a push rod 5-liter can't do but about 500 horse if you're lucky. At least not stock. They don't. The 4.6s can be built to put more down than the pushrod 5.0. But the pushrod 5.0 is super cheap to buy and super cheap to build, super cheap to tune. So the pushrod 5.0 is a good cheap option, but you're not going to be able to put down no 7, 8, 900 horsepower with a pushrod 5.0. They just don't hold that much. 500 is as much as you can go with one of those. But Ton, you were asking about a class that I failed. I failed a core nursing class. So, and I don't think it had a name to it. It might have had a name like, Nursing 102 or, whatever it was. But I failed a core nursing class. So, it wasn't my clinicals. I failed it. I failed the classroom part of a core nursing class because of my test grade percentage, and I failed it with a with a 79.7 or something like that. And you had to have an 80 to pass. I had like a 79.7, and they did not round up. So that was a class I failed. I think it cost me 2 semesters, but I was able to just jump right back in, thankfully. It was terrible. I had a 94 GT. I had 2 of them, 2 94 GTs. Mine would have been quick if I could have got them to grab traction. They would never hook up. Of course, I didn't have them. I did no suspension work, so they were all stock. Ride height and everything. Yeah, 90 or 79.7. So yeah, I failed by 0.3 of a point. It was so much fun. I'm hearing doors shut. I hope I don't have a child up right now. But if I do, it'll be fine. They'll just bust in here. A $3 pay raise. My gracious. That is a lot. I mean, that's $6,000 a year. A $3 pay raise. That's a lot of money. Whew. That's, less than a gallon of gas. $28.40 per hour. My gracious. That's like better than the North Carolina average pay for a nurse. That is a lot of money. They pay y'all good up there in Canada. Of course, I don't know what the cost of living is up there, but man, $28.40 an hour. That is pretty good. So even before that is, $25.40. Phew, that's still pretty good right there. That's some good money. You're running up on getting close to $70,000 a year. Of course, like I said, I don't know what the average is. The cost of living is in Canada. I imagine it's a little bit higher, especially with energy cost. I don't know what the food cost is up there in Canada, but cost of living. But man, that's some good dollars. I should have gone up to Canada and just been a CNA. Lived up there the whole time. I don't think my wife would have gone for it, but I think it would have been alright. Yeah, I was thinking it was pretty close to 70. I mean, that is better than most nurses here. Like, it really is. What is like a nurse make? Does a nurse make like 100 a year, 100,000 a year in Canada? I mean, man. I think y'all got some provinces up there that y'all are compact. I might have to go up there and live in one of them compact provinces y'all got. I don't know which ones are. I don't know what is a province up there that's compact. Yeah, I wonder what a doctor makes too up there in Canada. I wonder what taxes are though. Like, are you taxed really heavy? 28. That's really not any different than. That's not much different than a CNA though. The 32 is a little bit better, but the 28 going from 28.40 to 28. Yeah, I would imagine they do. Yeah, especially with the pandemic. Of course, it's at least coming to an end down here. I don't know how it is up there, but it's coming to an end down here, which is good. I'm definitely digging that. I'm tired. I'll be honest with you. I am tired of wearing my mask at work. I hate wearing my mask at work. I'm not trying to speak out against my employer, but I feel like wearing that mask at work is just the most aggravating thing ever. You get hot. Them things ain't comfortable. I'm going to have calluses on the backs of my ears. I hate wearing them masks all the time. I just do. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Yes, there's a worse. It's like you sweat inside the mask, and it just doesn't quit. You just keep sweating inside the mask. And you can stay hydrated just drinking the sweat out of your mask. Just, man, and I don't know about you don't mind the mask. Oh yeah, the PPE. Yeah, I don't like the PPE either. Oh, the PPE just doesn't breathe. You have this much breath for your skin, right here, that much, because your hands are covered, your arms are covered, your torso's covered, your back's covered, but right there, that's all that's not covered, and it's just miserable like any other time. And that little bit right there just sweats. Summertime with the PPE is the worst. It is miserable. I'm ready to be done with that mess. I am so ready to be done with the PPE. It was so bad in the beginning that we had ponchos, rain ponchos, that had like, these rain ponchos had like rubber bands like in the sleeve parts of them, but they were clear, and so you could see like the ponchos sticking to us. You know, the ponchos were just like clinging to you because a little bit of sweat would just shrivel them up and then just stick to you, and you'd see like wet spots in our clothes, you know, from the PPE and the, you know, sweating and everything. It was terrible. Yeah, I remember taking vital signs with the PPE. We've gotten to the point, like, if nobody's looking, what we'll do is we will just like slide our arms in, like just as much to have our arms, like the top half of our bodies are sort of hanging out. You know, you can't do this when people are looking at you, of course, you know. But so like the PPE will come up to like right here. So of course it's not doing anything. You're simply just wearing it just because it's policy. And just, you know, have this much of your body hanging out, but it's, you know, got like a gap from your clothes and the PPE. And just trying to do everything. Still hot and sweaty. Yes, I hate it too. Thank you, David. Good to see you. I try to do a live stream every Saturday. So check it out next time you get a chance. Thank you. Glad that you love the videos up there in Wisconsin. I'm glad that you're getting enjoyment out of it. Have a good weekend. Have a good shift. Hope everything works out on your shift and everything goes well. Hope your CNAs are good to you. That's definitely something big. You gotta have good CNAs. We had, when I was still at the hospital, we had these negative pressure rooms that would like pull the air out. And this was before COVID. This was, you know, Ebola was the thing back then. So, what was that, 2014, I think? Anyways, it would pull the air out of the room the way it was like designed or something. And you'd put your PPE on and it would be like blowing. That one was tolerable, I'll say. It was a tolerable room to wear PPE in, but it still was no fun. Of course, I haven't been there in 10 years or better. No, like I said, I think 2014. Whatever year Ebola was a thing. I can't remember. I know, and my kids watch that movie, Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants, he was like the ice cream truck salesman. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're closed for Ebola." I was like, "Wow, that joke did not age well." I bet my kids have no idea what he's even talking about. They're closed for Ebola. I am glad that one did not turn out too bad. That Ebola, that thing was... They had a terrible death rate. I mean, it was like almost as bad as like small cell carcinoma. It was a terrible death rate with that Ebola. All right. Oh, I'm sticking to my chair here. Yeah, I don't think we had any cases of Ebola here. Luckily, it was like slow to transmit or something. It was either slow or hard to transmit, something like that. So I don't remember us having any cases at all, but we had the rooms for it, and the negative pressure or reverse pressure or whatever it was. I think it was negative pressure. Had those rooms. Drank me another drink of my water. This thing here is still tripping me out. Feels like I could grab it, but it's nothing there. No, I remember people going to the United States, with Ebola, like missionaries and stuff, but they were, none of them came here. None of them came to North Carolina, where I'm at. I think they all went to like Jersey or Philadelphia, places like that. I never had to deal with them. And we never saw Ebola, but we were the North Carolina hub for Ebola, the hospital I worked for. We were the hub for North Carolina Ebola cases. And I'm almost certain that the hospital only did that to get some sort of grant, to get some sort of money for, something. I'm sure that the government was like, yeah, we'll pay you, $2 million to say you're the hub for Ebola. And I'm sure that the CEO cashed out on that mess. And he was like, yeah, I'll take that money, and I'm going to go to the bank and make my Ferrari payment. Whatever it was. But we never saw any cases of it here in North Carolina, thankfully. Because, like I said, we were the hub for Ebola. It was so much fun being the Ebola hub. Yeah, so much fun. But that one's over with. Now we just got to finish up the COVID. There's another one called H1N1, or swine flu. That was one that a lot of people were worried about too. That was like 2 years before Ebola, I think. H1N1. But that one didn't ever come back up here either. You think they'll die from H1N1, or you think they'll die from Ebola? I don't know. Something's got to take the United States out. If it's not, war from Russia, it's going to be some sort of bioterrorism disease process or something. Yeah. I can't remember how Ebola got eradicated. I think it just went away on its own. Could be wrong. And then SARS was 04. That was a big one too. SARS never made it to the United States. There was an episode of Scrubs about SARS, and they locked the hospital down. That was the first season of that show. Was the only legit medical drama that was actually how a medical drama runs. Was that first season of Scrubs. After the first season of Scrubs, I don't think there was anything else that could compare to real life. my sudo tech up. What am I doing here? I don't know. Just to drive it around. We don't have any plans for the golf cart. There is no modification plans for the golf cart. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I put the underglow on it. I just put that on there just to have fun with it. No, I did a Ooga horn. My kids wanted the Ooga horn, so I put the Ooga horn on there. It was so much fun. People love it when they hear it coming. Somebody's here. Yeah, I have a go-kart. I gave the motor away to another kid for his birthday. But yes, I have one. Right now, with the way gas prices are, you can't really have any of those toys like that. Oh, me. Nah, I can't do all that now. It'd be too much. That go-kart doesn't have a roll cage or anything. I would have to have something with roll cage to put my kids in. Multiple seats. Things like that. Hey, Miss Lady.
Hey, my pajama heads are in here.
Okay.
I said, are they?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't think so. Or are these?
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. See how my ceiling fan light is doing. Since she closed the door on me. I think it's still doing alright. I think it's still doing pretty good. I wonder when she'll notice. If she'll see the ceiling fan light that I took all the bulbs out of. Nah, I ain't gonna put no bags on nothing. I don't need to do all that. That ain't gonna be no good. Got a little bit of a frog in my throat. But I think it'll be alright. I need to leave that alone. That'll start getting loud. Oop. Doing something crazy. It's 12 volt. I did 3 12s instead of 6 6s. Because I'm not a big fan of the water that goes in the 6 volts. I'd much rather just do the 12s that don't need water. My oldest came in here the other day and I saw her messing with the microphone doing like ASMR videos, like, you know, popping knuckles and stuff like that. I was like, you can't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. She didn't like actually make any videos. She just had the, you know, the software pulled up so that she could, you know, hear it on the microphone screen. Yeah, the gas is just so high right now. $4 and some odd a gallon, $4.09 I think right now here. You know, in other places, California I'm sure is much higher. California is looking like crazy. No, I do not like ASMR. My oldest likes ASMR. I can't do it. I cannot tolerate ASMR. My oldest is into that sort of thing. But and I think she just did it just because the microphone was here. I don't think she really likes ASMR like that, but she might. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. She just saw the microphone and was like, let's pop our knuckles. How was your night?
It was busy.
Okay.
Really busy at work.
Well, that's good, I guess.
No, I'd rather it be like... No, I mean it was like slammed. I'd
Oh.
rather it be like busy than slammed. It was slammed though.
And it was slammed.
You do.
I pulled 2 of the lights out of our ceiling fan. One of them was actually burnt out already, so one needed to come out.
Okay.
None of your friends are on here tonight. Or at least not yet. You know? Hear me?
Yeah.
No. I think they do. I think they're called Blue? I think they're called Blues. The scooters go like 70 mile an hour.
Yeah, I think they're called Blue.
I think they're called Blue. Blue scooters. Yeah, you have to check your local ordinances to see if you can, you know, ride them on the street, but let me type it in. No, those are all like from Target and Walmart. That's not it at all. Let me do this instead. Be much easier to do it this way. Yamaha has one. Wow.
them, don't they?
Yeah, I think New York has them.
New York and California and places, bigger cities.
Yeah. Yeah, bigger cities have them. A Whizzer. That's a pretty cool name for an electric scooter. A Whizzer. Tao has one. That's a company I've actually heard of. But yeah, they have them. You just plug them in the wall, I'm sure. Wouldn't be real hard to mess with at all. It'll go about 3 miles, so just keep that in mind. You'll have to charge it after you take it about 3 miles. Good on gas, because it don't use none. You just got to carry around the plug. Just carry around a charger with you. Yeah, 3 miles is all I need, though. I don't need any more than that. I think what I should do for next week's live stream is I should tell ghost stories.
You don't even believe in ghosts.
I do not believe in ghosts. But I think I should title it Ghost Stories.
No, because then
Discussed
people are
live.
thinking about
Ooh.
wanting ghost stories and you ain't gonna have them.
I'll start the whole thing off with, I do not believe in ghosts. And then just say, go. I could be like, one time, this thing happened, but I don't believe it was a ghost. I think there was a coincidence. Yeah, see, he's got a few at the nursing home.
Look at this. Look at this. It's a chicken helmet.
I did not know that. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
One of our kids is up. I did not know that.
Here?
Huh?
They're both up here?
One's downstairs. Sounds like it's downstairs.
You okay? You okay? Okay. What?
Somebody's up.
The middle one's throwing up again.
Oh. That is amazing.
I think she said pooping too far.
Not in the bed, is it? Well, let's see. Are we about to end the live stream or no? Empty room, I heard. Hey!
No poop, just throwing up.
And it was our middle child.
And oldest getting no sleep because middle just threw up. And Mama can't stop pooping.
This is phenomenal. I think we might be ending tonight.
I think I might be calling out of work tomorrow because
So many people are
taken. Yeah, we have 2 in our home with the stomach bug.
Mm-hmm. Did our middle child throw up in the bed?
Yeah.
That's the second time she's done that too. Are sheets required at this moment in time?
I don't know. But you shouldn't have used the air mattress outside during the snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is when we would have used it.
This is very true.
Because we could have just threw a sheet on it, wiped it off, and went with it.
Mm-hmm. But we sledded on it, and it was so much fun.
Is he our only one on?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah.
And he's going to bed.
All right, bud. We'll talk to you later. So, probably for the best, though, so that we can, check our babies.
Mm-hmm.
Unless somebody else comments in the next, 2-3 minutes. I'm just going to be done with it so that we can tend to our children's needs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's up? I have no idea what that name is. Arthurus?
Arthurus?
Arthurus? Probably pronouncing that wrong. Hold on, let me read this. I have no one to tell this to in real life, but my PTSD is getting the best of me. So, do you have any resources you can reach out to? Not necessarily family, but, crisis lines or things like that. It's definitely getting help is your best option.
There's hotlines too.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever state you're in, there's.
Everyone is a threat. Well, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good at all. Let me see. Is there a national? I don't know if there is. There is not a national PTSD hotline. I think that there is.
There usually is a.
Let's see. Because I think you can text them. You don't even have to.
Then they have to be a call.
Yeah. SAMHSA's a good, reliable source. But that's treatment.
Go back to the page you were just on.
What about that one?
Okay.
No. Yeah, because you can't have everybody being a threat. That's got to be... That one?
Yeah. Yes, contact the hotline.
Yeah, most definitely.
We're looking up. She, I don't know. I'm sorry.
This is for veterans. Are you a veteran? I got a buddy, but he's probably well into the bed at night by now. All right.
What state are you in?
Does this matter what state?
No, I'm saying because if we could probably look up that state.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, that's not
8 and 8 to 5.
Yeah, these aren't 24-hour. Okay, hold on. We're trying.
We're gonna find
Treatment solutions. In Oregon. Okay, all right. Okay. No, that's crisis text line. Apparently Oregon has a crisis text line. I'm going to share my screen with you. I hope. Let's make this bigger. So in Oregon, there's a free crisis text line. And you can text Oregon to 741741. And these are people who are trained in this. I am not trained in this area.
Need to. There's
But
mental health services right there.
So let me leave this up here. You said something. Oh, adult mental health services. So you can text them. I
don't see.
I think that we have we were
where
we needed to be.
Yeah.
So you can text that number there. And hopefully that's what you need. Somebody with some training. Like I said, we don't have any training. I'm not in training. I don't have any training in that area, unfortunately. So hopefully you got some help. It says you're not there anymore, but I hope you got some help, bud. Unfortunately, it doesn't say when they left.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay. Good.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We're here every Saturday.
Every Saturday we'll be here. So hopefully you got some help. Or
you can always
getting some help.
Send him a message one day.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, please get help. Don't do it all your own.
You can't. There's no doing it all your own. Our oldest deals with anxiety. She sees a therapist for it. Like, she's 9 years old. Huh.
Yes, so and they said they were 24/7, so
is it sharing the screen still?
Not anymore.
Okay.
So it says, is able to de-escalate about 60% of emergency texters.
I mean that.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully everything turns out all right. Hopefully everything works out all right. Well, I guess it's a good thing we stayed on for just another minute or two. I'm only going to give it about another minute, though, and then I'm going to turn it off. And our children are sick. We'll go to 1:48. 45 more seconds. Why get your face on?
No reason.
Oh. What'd you go do today?
Went bowling.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How'd you bowl?
Not good.
Any reason why?
No. Just don't bowl good anymore.
Oh, okay. What ball did you use?
Mine. Oh. No, I didn't.
You used your ball?
No. I thought about it. It's funny, I thought about it, and then I was like, stop. We're talking about it.
You want to talk about it on camera?
That's fine. No, I really did go bowling. And then when I got there, I realized my bowling bag was not in the truck. It's in your car.
It is in my car.
I used the other one that I always use over there. That's not mine. But I say it's mine too.
Right.
I did.
What'd you bowl?
It's like 120. Horrible.
What'd you bowl last time I went with you?
A 117 and a 110.
Oh.
Told you, horrible.
Alright, I'm gonna turn this off.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get in the tub.
Okay.
So, good night, whoever's still there.
If anybody's there.
If anybody's there, I doubt it.